Okay, so what do you think of our culture's obsession with the devil?
Okay.
Like, and it's like been in music videos where,
Yep.
and people dressed up as the devil,
Yep.
and all that kind of, like, it's been going on forever with like
Yeah.
heavy metal music, I guess, and
Sure.
and satanic imagery and all that. What's the obsession?
Yeah.
And do you think it's worship, or do you think it's mockery, or do you think it's or people aren't thinking and just think it looks cool?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all over the map.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think it's all those things. Because I know that some just don't believe he exists at all.
Right.
Right. So like they don't believe in a real Satan. They don't believe in a real devil. Like, okay, so Satan, the devil, maybe personifies a sense of evil. And so, all right, I'm going to
Provoke.
or I'm going to reference Satan in music. I'm going to, or in music videos. I'm going to portray him in there, right? It's a sense of like evil or bad or wrong. And then of course, some of those, whether it's movies, music, whatever, they mock him as well. So some of them just don't, again, they don't believe he's real. So why not mock him? And so I think it really is all over the map in this. And then, you dress up like him or whatever it may be, because you think it's funny or whatever. Because again, you don't think it's real. So I think there's that. And then I do think there's like the full on like worship of him.
Okay.
Like, not I think, like I know that exists, right? Satanists,
there's a whole church of it.
Right. So Satanists are real. And I think some in this camp have like gotten to that place because of how much they hate the God of the Christians.
Okay.
Or hate the whole Christian experience so much that they hate. It's like, if that's God, if that's who God is and the church is, forget that. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be the opposite of.
Okay.
And so, and of course, even in that aspect of it, like there's the idea of worshiping him. There's the idea of following him. And then there's the idea of just kind of like, well, we don't really believe he's real either, but we're doing this more as like mocking Christians and the worship, the way they worship their God. So yeah. And then I'll say this, and I'll let you comment on it too. Like, there's also Christians that do not believe that the devil exists, that do not believe Satan exists.
What would I have to comment?
Well, no, I'm not on this particular thing, but on, but I do want to get on just the culture in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but on this aspect of like Christians, like there's Christians, like even pastors who do not believe Satan exists, do not believe the devil exists.
Isn't that essential doctrine?
Well, you would think, but like when I was in theology school, and 20 years ago when I was in theology school, I remember being in class one day and we were talking about demons and Satan, and I can't remember exactly why, but we were that was the topic we were on for that moment. And then someone goes, "But that's not real." Like someone who was there studying to be a pastor and was actually already in ministry was like, "No, but that's not real though. Like demons and Satan aren't real." And actually our professor was like, "Wait, what?" Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Even our professor was like, "Hold on. Huh?"
Yeah. What?
And so he spent the whole rest of the time laying out a biblical reason of why.
Isn't he in the whole thing?
Yeah.
He's in the beginning and the end.
Right.
And throughout the whole middle.
The whole thing. Yeah. So like, anyway, but then like, there was another time it was like a big group of us were having lunch, all sitting around this big table. And someone just brought the question, like, do y'all believe the devil's real? And I thought it was like a rhetorical question almost, like, well, yeah, he's real. I was shocked. majority, I would say probably 35% of the people sitting at that table did not believe that the devil or Satan was real. And all of these people were being trained to go into ministry.
Well, I didn't really realize until, like, I'd never put two and two together that we could be horrible people without him. So, like,
Yeah.
does it matter if we think he's real? Because we could be bad all by ourselves.
Yeah. I think it matters.
Okay.
Because
Does it matter for salvation if I think he's real or not?
Does it matter for salvation? Like, can I be saved?
Yeah.
But believe, like, not, but I would, if here, I guess becomes part of my issue.
Okay.
And I don't know if I want to make it a salvific issue completely.
Okay.
However, it's not just us creating this idea of a Satan,
right,
or the devil, right? Like, Jesus himself is the one speaking about Satan and a devil.
Okay, and the Gospels say that he talked to him.
Right. So if you are saying that there's no Satan and no devil, you're calling Jesus a liar.
Okay.
And if Jesus is a liar,
then that's a problem.
we've got to, I think everything will start unraveling.
Okay.
And that's part of the issue for me. And like, and the way
So
that my
it's one step removed from not believing in any of this.
Right.
Okay.
Because like and this would be more of a liberal take, right?
Okay.
Like a real liberal theological take, because you don't have to believe that the Bible's fully inerrant. You don't have to believe everything that's there was actually there or true. And so, like, for example, they would say, well, they just didn't understand mental illness at that time.
Right.
Therefore, that was why you would talk about demons. They didn't understand, like, this was all just kind of like that at that period of time. But then my whole point is still,
you're saying Jesus was mentally ill then?
or you're saying Jesus didn't understand.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Like, no, like, Jesus is literally casting out demons. He's literally talking about Satan. That, like,
okay,
that can't just be like some kind of sense of like, Satan's just a personification of evil, but he's not like a real being.
Okay.
No, this is what Jesus said. So that's where I start having issues with it.
Okay.
Because I do believe you're walking down a very slippery slope of starting to kind of, what I would say, to start chunking truths or
Okay.
chunking things that you just don't want to believe in. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about in the last question that all of the satanic imagery that we have is not really what Satan looks like.
Right.
So would you have anything that looks like that around your house?
No.
Why not?
Because it looks like, because of the way it's been ingrained to me, this is what Satan looks like, you know? And I think the question would be like, well, why? Like, why would you have that?
Because it looks cool?
Yeah. Be like, what's it representing? What's it symbolizing? Right. All that kind of stuff, right? Like, if you have that stuff and it's representing the devil, then
right,
I wouldn't want that stuff in my house.
So do you think that every instance of Satan imagery should not exist?
No.
Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, it's the same thing. Like, is
it all glorifying him?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's I see what you're saying. I guess the way I was thinking about it was like, for what's the purpose it's serving, right?
Okay.
Like if I'm reading if I'm reading a story, or I'm like, there's an illustrated story, and you're trying to tell the story about whatever, and Satan is involved, and that's the way that Satan is depicted,
right,
in trying to tell that story. Okay, cool. But like, to have like paintings or or images, icons,
or to dress up like him, you think all of like,
yeah, I just wouldn't go there.
You'd never dress up as him?
No.
Okay,
I would not.